What if the reason you can't lose weight isn't because you're eating too much, but because your body's exit door for fat is chemically welded shut? I want you to think about the last time you truly committed to getting back in shape. You cut the calories, you skipped the dessert, you did everything right on paper. You followed the rules. But the scale didn't budge. In fact, you just felt tired, irritable, and constantly hungry. That isn't a failure of willpower. That is a biological state known as metabolic rigidity. When your body is in this state, you can effectively starve yourself and still not burn a single ounce of body fat. Why? Because your biology is stuck in preservation mode. Your hormones are screaming at your cells to hoard energy rather than spend it. It's like trying to withdraw cash from a bank vault that has been locked down by a security override. No matter how much you plead, the door simply won't open. And the scariest part? Your body gives you a very specific warning signal that this is happening. It's a distress flare sent up by your metabolism, but most of us ignore it or try to caffeinate our way through it. It's that 2 p.m. crash. The food coma. In medical terms, we call this post-prandial somnolence. If you eat a standard lunch, maybe a sandwich or a bowl of pasta, and 20 minutes later you feel an overwhelming urge to sleep, or you get hit with severe brain fog where you can't focus on a simple email, that is not normal. That is a metabolic distress signal. Think about the paradox of that moment. You just fed your body fuel. You should be energized, alert, and ready to go. But instead, you feel like you need a nap. Why? Because your insulin levels have spiked so high that they are actually blocking your brain's access to that fuel. Your brain is essentially starving in the midst of plenty. If you ignore this signal, you aren't just tired, you are reinforcing the hormonal lock that keeps you overweight. But the good news is, we can pick that lock using simple chemistry. So what is actually happening inside your biological machinery to cause this crash? To understand it, we have to decode a mechanism called acid-mediated amylase inhibition. And to do that, we need to look at the villain in our story. It's an enzyme called salivary alpha-amylase. Most people think digestion starts in the stomach, but it actually starts the second food hits your tongue. Your saliva is absolutely packed with these amylase enzymes. Evolution designed them this way for survival, to extract energy from food as fast as possible. I want you to visualize them as millions of tiny, sharp, fast-moving steel scissors. Now imagine the starch you eat, whether it's whole wheat bread, oatmeal, or brown rice, as a long, elegant pearl necklace. When you eat that starch, those amylase scissors go to work with terrifying speed. They frantically cut the necklace, snapping the links apart. Suddenly, that one long, complex necklace becomes hundreds of loose, scattering pearls. Those loose pearls are glucose, pure sugar. Because they are cut so quickly, they flood your bloodstream instantly. This massive, sudden surge forces your pancreas to panic. It has no choice but to release a tidal wave of insulin to clean up the mess. And remember, high insulin is the signal that locks your fat cells shut. But here is where our hero enters the picture: citric acid. By introducing a specific level of acidity, a pH lower than 3.5, right before you eat, we change the game completely. Imagine taking those sharp steel scissors and pouring lemon juice over them. In this chemical environment, the metal warps, bends, and rusts instantly. The scissors become blunt and useless. In scientific terms, we call this denaturing. We are changing the shape of the protein so it can no longer do its job. Now, when you eat that same piece of bread, the pearl necklace slides down your throat largely intact and unbroken. You have effectively neutralized the enemy at the gate. By doing this, clinical data shows we can reduce the glucose spike by up to 30% and delay it by over 35 minutes. You aren't changing what you eat, you are changing how fast it hits your blood. And please, do not confuse this with those detox teas or skinny teas you see at the supermarket. Those are the fake solution. They usually rely on senna, a plant-based laxative that works by violently irritating your colon lining to force a purge. That damages your microbiome and dehydrates you. The acid protocol is the exact opposite. We are using precision biochemistry to slow digestion upstream, protecting your liver and pancreas, rather than violently purging your gut downstream. Think of your pancreas like a sensitive doorbell. Every time you eat a heavy carbohydrate meal, you are walking up to that house and ringing the doorbell to signal for insulin. In your current state of metabolic rigidity, you aren't just ringing it politely, you are leaning on the buzzer, ringing it loud, frantic, and non-stop. Eventually, the homeowner stops answering or comes out furious. Our goal here isn't to disconnect the doorbell or stop eating completely. It is to muffle the sound so the pancreas whispers instead of shouts. Here is your precise 3-step blueprint to make that happen. Step 1 is the foundation, the acid appetizer. About 15 minutes before your largest meal of the day, usually dinner, I want you to drink a glass of water mixed with the juice of half a lemon. That's roughly 1.5 tablespoons of fresh juice. By doing this 15 minutes early, you are preloading your stomach with citric acid, effectively dropping the pH below 3.5 before a single bite of food enters. When your pasta or potatoes eventually arrive, they drop into an acidic environment that immediately alters the structural conformation of that amylase enzyme. You are deactivating the scissors before they can even start cutting. Step 2 is the movement dessert. Immediately after you put down your fork, do not sit on the couch. I need you to take a 10 to 15 minute brisk walk. This is non-negotiable. And listen closely, this is not about burning calories. You won't burn off a pizza in 10 minutes. This is about mechanical clearance. Walking activates something called GLUT4 transporters on the surface of your leg muscles. Imagine these transporters as millions of little vacuum seal pores that pop open on the muscle wall. They suck glucose directly out of your bloodstream to use as immediate fuel, and they do it without needing insulin to open the door. You are effectively bypassing the broken system and flattening the remaining spike manually. Step 3 is the fiber buffer. If you want to make this bulletproof, take a glucomannan capsule, which is made from konjac root, or simply eat a small green salad before your main carbs. Soluble fiber does something incredible. It absorbs water and turns into a thick, viscous gel in your stomach. This creates a physical web that wraps around food molecules, shielding them from digestive enzymes and physically slowing down how fast food leaves your stomach. It acts like a traffic controller, ensuring sugar enters your blood single file rather than as a mob. A quick but critical tooltip here. Citric acid is powerful stuff. Over time, direct contact can soften your dental enamel. We want to save your liver, not ruin your teeth. To solve this, simply use a stainless steel or glass straw when you drink your lemon water. This directs the acid past your teeth and down your throat, protecting your smile while you heal your metabolism. Let's clear up a massive misconception before you start, because the internet is full of bad information on this specific topic. You have probably heard of the alkaline diet, the popular idea that drinking lemon water changes your blood pH to alkalize your body and stop cancer or disease. I need you to know that is a total myth. Your body's pH levels are not a sliding scale that you can manipulate with a glass of water. Your blood pH is tightly biologically locked at roughly 7.4% by your lungs and your kidneys. It is a system of homeostasis. If lemon water actually changed your blood pH even slightly, you wouldn't be healthier, you would be in the ICU. The benefit we are after here is strictly local. We want the acidity in the stomach to inhibit enzymes. We are not trying to create alkalinity in the blood. Also, I need to give you a serious reality check from the medical side. This protocol is powerful, but it isn't for everyone. If you suffer from severe acid reflux, gastritis, or GERD, pouring acid into an already inflamed esophagus is like pouring gasoline on a fire. If that is you, focus on the walking and fiber steps first. Additionally, while grapefruit is the usual suspect for medication interactions, citrus fruits can affect how your liver enzymes process drugs. If you are on any prescription medication, especially for blood pressure or cholesterol, check with your doctor before making this a daily habit. But for the rest of you, this is the missing piece of the puzzle. You are not a victim of a slow metabolism or bad genetics. You were simply operating a high-performance machine with the wrong instruction manual. You were trying to drive with the parking brake on. Today you learned how to release that brake. So here is my challenge to you, the 24-hour acid test. For the next 24 hours, do not change your diet. Don't cut carbs. Don't starve yourself. Just add that lemon water shot 15 minutes before your dinner. Then, monitor your energy 2 hours later. Did you crash or did you cruise? Hit like if you are ready to test this. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever tried the alkaline diet thinking it was changing your blood chemistry? Let's debug that myth together down below.